Good commencement morning, class of 2016. Congratulations. Now, I know how far you have come to reach this day, and it is a joy to spend it with you. Families and loved ones, we especially are honored to celebrate with you. I also congratulate the faculty and staff of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute who have taken this journey with our graduates. They share in your achievements, and I know that they are as proud as I am of you. So graduates, please join me in thanking everyone who has supported your Rensselaer journey with a round of applause. Now, in truth, for those of us who work at Rensselaer, amidst the pride and wonderful sense of accomplishment we see and feel at commencement, there always is a bit of sadness in saying goodbye, as our graduates momentarily will fly away to myriad compelling and rewarding destinations around the globe. But before this class disperses, I want to urge our graduates to think about the ties that bind and the glue that holds us together. As you know, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute was founded nearly 200 years ago, specifically for the instruction of young persons in the application of science to the common purposes of life. Our mission has never changed. As members of the Rensselaer family, all of us are united in the application of science and technology and related fields to great challenges, just as we all are united in the common purposes of life. While common in this context may mean day-to-day, it does not mean ordinary or negligible or monotonous. In fact, the most transcendently beautiful aspects of life are universal. The love of family and friends, the vigorous pleasure of working on hard but worthwhile challenges, the great satisfaction of giving to others, an appreciation for the beauty of nature all around us, the joy of shared experiences. This universality allows us to embrace those far distant from us in culture and in life experience. It is at the root of empathy, something sorely needed in this world at this moment, when intolerance of cultural, economic, political, and religious differences threatens our security on a national and global level. We here at Rensselaer are very proud of you and of what you have learned and done on your journey through the Institute, including having stayed focused on the application of science, even when the common purposes of life threatened to intervene. This certainly was the case for Calder Albluoshi of the class of 2016. She began here at Rensselaer as an architecture student, but when she changed her major to biomedical engineering, she had to manage 4 years of engineering coursework in 3 years. Now that is quite challenging, but to add to that, she gave birth to her first child, a boy, just before Thanksgiving of her senior year. With the support of her husband, Abdul Aziz Shamsa, who earned his mechanical engineering degree in December, Calder is here graduating today. During this demanding college experience, she was treasurer of the Biomedical Engineering Society and an active volunteer on the campus. And yet she remained focused on changing the world, investigating whether keratan sulfate, which is found in the cornea, cartilage, and bone, and which helps in neural development but which is scarce, could be sourced from the whites of chicken eggs. Calder, we're proud of you and fully intend to recruit your baby for the Rensselaer class of 2034. We're proud as well of the tenacity of Jeff Avery of the class of 2016, who has finished his undergraduate work for a coterminal degree in business and management, and who was quarterback and captain of our men's football team. During the 2014 season, he was hit on the sidelines and suffered a severe injury with broken ribs and a collapsed lung. It was doubtful that he would ever play football again. Yet after months of painful rehabilitation, he piloted his team this year to the Liberty League co-championship and the ECAC Bowl victory. Now, Jeff has led Rensselaer on the field, off the field, and in the classroom, truly offering us an example of adversity overcome with grace. We also are proud of Michelle Green of this class for her expansive empathy. As president of the Rensselaer chapter of the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers, Michelle has made sure that Hispanic students at Rensselaer are inspired, supported, and prepared to join the great community of engineers. She also has worked hard to bring new students into the fold, leading an outreach weekend that brought 75 Hispanic students from New York City high schools to Rensselaer and opened their eyes to a world of possibilities. Our freshman class of 2020, by the way, promises to be the most diverse in our nearly 200-year history. So Michelle has left her mark on Rensselaer, as well as helped to expand the pool of engineering talent in our nation. Now, I've spoken of 3 of your classmates, but graduates, we're proud of all of you. You have received an education that has prepared you to address great global challenges. I would urge you to dig deep, even deeper, in your lives and your careers. There is no question that you have learned here how to make careful distinctions. That is an important part of thinking critically. You've learned the meaning of sacrifice to achieve a desired end. You've learned as well to perceive and to forge new linkages between both people and ideas. Seeing the like in the unlike is the very essence of creativity, as well as the essence of humanity and tolerance. Our commencement honorands all have helped the world to understand the unity underlying apparent diversity. They themselves hardly could be more diverse from one another in their backgrounds, in their intellectual foci, and their careers. Yet they have a unity of purpose, empowering humanity by increasing our understanding of the universe, of our roots and commonality, and by increasing our compassion. As a theoretical physicist, Dr. Steven Weinberg has helped us to see that 2 of the fundamental forces of nature, the electromagnetic force and the weak nuclear force, are actually the same force, though they appear very different at low energies. With his Nobel Prize-winning work, he has led us much further down the road to a final theory of nature that unifies all of its particles and forces. He also has joined physics to beautiful language in a series of powerful books for general readers. Professor Weinberg has said, and I quote, "Unification is where it's at." That's what he said. Now, those are wise words, even if one is intent on other things besides the standard model of elementary particle physics. Dr. David Skorton, the 13th Secretary of the Smithsonian Institution, leads an iconic institution that reflects the remarkable diversity of our national culture and experience, that includes 19 museums and galleries, the National Zoological Park, and 9 research facilities, with a collection that encompasses 138 million artifacts. Given the remarkable diversity of his own interests, he is a brilliant choice for this position. He not only is a renowned cardiologist specializing in congenital heart disease, who has done significant research in cardiac imaging and image processing, he also is the former president of Cornell University, we'll forgive him for that, and the University of Iowa, an erstwhile jazz radio disc jockey who plays the saxophone and flute, the former chair of the reorganization board of the New York Racing Association, a beekeeper, and a black belt in Taekwondo. Yet, this intellectual omnivore is leading the Smithsonian in such a way as to help us perceive the common root of what it means to be an American, the ambition, the sense of self-determination, and the tolerance for opposing ideas that characterize us in all of our diversity as citizens of this democracy. Importantly, he also is helping to deepen our understanding of our connection to the larger world, from whence so many of us have come. And we do need a reminder at this very moment of all that we share. Ambassador Earthren Cousin, Executive Director of the United Nations World Food Program, which feeds 90 million people in over 80 countries every year, has shown us that across diverse cultures and geographies, poverty and hunger are the same, and that we all have an obligation to seek and to apply solutions to such suffering. In doing so, she is showing us that we not only are connected to people all around the world, but also that we must be connected. Ambassador Cousin has spoken about taking courage from the American Civil Rights Movement, which offers her vivid evidence that humanity is capable of bridging divides that once seemed fixed and eternal. Now, her goal is simple but grand: to eliminate hunger everywhere for good, to ensure, in short, that no one lacks what is necessary for the common purposes of life. As our honorands share their wisdom with you, what will become obvious across their diverse spheres is the unity inherent in their ability to distinguish between the urgent and the important. Now, our world encourages a breathless attention to the exigent and the insistent, given the constant connectedness enabled by our electronic devices, those supercomputers within your pockets, and the instantaneous, sometimes obtrusive arrival of culture, news, entertainment, information, and yes, misinformation during our every waking moment. But the urgent is not always important. Dr. Weinberg does important work in theoretical physics, whose practical applications may appear far from now. This work is not urgent as such, but it has expanded our understanding of nature in fundamental ways. It is important. Dr. Skorton's work as a physician is both urgent and important, since it is always important to save a human life. Now, however, at the Smithsonian, his work helping to unite us through the arts, humanities, culture, and research is arguably more important than it is urgent, although in times of strife, it is both. Ambassador Cousin's work is both urgent and important. She alleviates the suffering in crises of all kinds as she works to identify and alleviate the root causes of hunger, and in so doing, to create overarching solutions to help struggling communities around the world to become self-sufficient. So as you, our graduates, move forward in your brilliant careers, I encourage you to balance your sense of urgency with an understanding of what is important. As you are doing your best at each stage of your professional lives, it is not important to win every argument. I learned that myself. Or to triumph in every contest, or always to be at the front of the line. Be slow to judge. It will make both your personal and professional lives happier. Be empathetic. Take your time. Dig deep. Find the truths that really matter and unite us all around them, as our honorands have done, because that is how humanity progresses and the world survives. But I'm optimistic, extremely optimistic, about the future that you will help to shape. So take very, very good care of yourselves. You are very special. Now let us see and hear how our honorands see the world. Over the years, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute has honored nationally and internationally recognized individuals who exemplify the achievements, the ingenuity and imagination, the entrepreneurship, and the innovation that have been hallmarks of this great university. So today we are privileged to recognize Ambassador Earthren Cousin, Dr. David J. Skorton, and Professor Steven Weinberg. We honor the 12th Executive Director of the United Nations World Food Program, Ambassador Earthren Cousin, for her commitment to the cause of hunger over the course of a long and distinguished career, and for helping to guide the response of the international community to so many humanitarian crises. For her energy, inspiration, and unshakable faith in progress as she helps the world to realize the United Nations 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development Goal, the goal of zero hunger. We honor the 13th Secretary of the Smithsonian, Dr. David J. Skorton, for courageous leadership throughout a career that encompasses 2 university presidencies, as well as the Smithsonian, and a rare ability to execute the toughest decisions in the kindest manner. For advocating always for openness and tolerance, and for open-mindedness over a narrow focus on one discipline or perspective as we address the overarching challenges of our day. We honor Professor of Physics and Astronomy and Nobel laureate at the University of Texas, Dr. Steven Weinberg, for leading us forward towards a theory connecting all particles and all forces in nature, for writing so eloquently about cosmology, elementary particle physics, and many other subjects, and demonstrating that a love of ideas is a very powerful unifying force. Please.